I'm going to give her props, though, because she actually tried. But this is the moment Jessica knew she screwed up. There was no coming back. You ain't going to be able to, because Elon Musk's response to this, priceless. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up on a big screen for y'all to see this in HD.
I wanted to talk to you about what Doge has been doing. So you've been making cuts to a lot of the agencies that have open investigations and regulatory battles with your companies. At the same time, you continue to get billions in government contracts. Tesla gets billions in subsidies. How do you explain that to the American people?
Well, everything that Doge does is an open book. So I think, the most transparent the most transparent organization in government ever. Every single Doge action is listed on the Doge.gov website. It's also listed on the X handle. So if anyone has a concern about any one of those actions, they can bring that up. They can raise that. And I do want to say, sometimes we make a mistake. Nobody bats 1,000. We will at times make a mistake, and we make a mistake. We'll act very quickly to correct it. I am under such an extreme spotlight, so much scrutiny, that it's literally impossible for me to get away with anything nefarious. And obviously, nor do I wish to. So this is a case where we have radical transparency. We're actually willing to admit that we do make mistakes. Often people are not willing to admit they make mistakes, but we are. But we want to emphasize we fix them quickly, and we're trying to do the right thing for the American taxpayer, for the American people. And I think history will be the judge that what we've done here and what we're doing is a very good thing for the strength and future of America.
Yes, I agree with him. He's in a position of where the spotlight is on him. I mean, magnified, zoomed in times 1,000. Him trying to undercut or do something backhanded, it seems unlikely.
Jessica, in typical liberal fashion, tried to twist the narrative, accusing Musk of manipulating government contracts while conveniently ignoring the fact that everything he does is out in the open. But instead of falling into her trap, Musk absolutely dismantled her weak argument with facts, logic, and something the mainstream media hates: transparency.
Right.
Musk didn't just respond, he exposed the hypocrisy. Every Doge action is listed publicly, accessible to anyone, and even shared on X for complete transparency. Meanwhile, Jessica acted as if he's operating in the shadows. Like the very politicians and bureaucrats she refuses to question. Where's the secret backdoor deal? Where's the corruption? There is none. Musk runs one of the most scrutinized organizations in history, yet the media still pretends he's getting away with something sinister. And let's talk about that ridiculous gotcha moment Jessica attempted. She tried to make it sound like Musk is defunding agencies just to avoid investigations. Except Musk made it clear, mistakes can happen, but they're fixed quickly. That's called accountability, something the media and politicians never practice.
Hey, man.
When was the last time you heard a journalist admit they got something wrong? Exactly. Jessica's entire argument fell apart the moment Musk pointed out the obvious. He's under more scrutiny than anyone. He can't get away with anything, even if he wanted to, and let's be honest, he doesn't need to. Unlike the corrupt politicians Jessica never questions, Musk is actually working to improve the system, not exploit it. But of course, Jessica didn't care about the truth. She wasn't interested in Musk's transparency, his willingness to admit mistakes, or his commitment to doing the right thing for the American people. No, she was only interested in pushing a tired, predictable narrative, one designed to attack those who challenge the establishment while giving real corruption a free pass. Musk didn't just defend himself, he exposed the media's agenda for what it really is: a desperate, flimsy attempt to discredit those who refuse to play by their rules. And if history is the judge, as Musk himself said, then people like Jessica and her media buddies will find themselves on the wrong side of it.
Yes, of course, man. I mean, come on. You got Elon Musk here, man, doing an amazing job for the American people. And you have the left only framing him to be this guy that's super corrupt, don't have the American people's interests at heart. And he's taking advantage of his position in order to further enrich himself. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, the guy just took accountability for mistakes, which is something that we don't see in government at all, which is something that I can appreciate. We need to start moving towards a accountable government in the first place. Nobody's going to get every single thing right. Sure, there will be some mistakes, but the fact that he's able to correct himself, you got to commend it, man. Now, Philip, blatantly lies about Elon Musk on stage in Green Bay, saying he would cut Social Security and Medicare benefits when he said the exact opposite. I mean, I heard him. Scott Walker does not let her get away with it. Y'all, check. This is how you supposed to check them when they get to doing all that line. From now on, this is how you check them.
He came to the state. He talked about cutting Medicaid, Social Security through Doge. bringing those issues up.
Actually, he never talked. He explicitly said in Green Bay that he would not cut Social Security.
Well,
that's exactly what he said.
Talked at his rallies.
No, other people said about that, but I was there. I watched him. Okay. He did not say he was going to cut Medicaid.
Other people at his rallies who work for Doge, who work for Elon Musk's organization, talked about those issues.
No, I was at the rally. Not one of them said that. That's what protesters said, but nobody there actually said that.
Do you think that there are risks here?
There are. If people believe the lies that people are saying about that.
Being associated.
That's not at all what they said. If people believe that Medicaid and Medicare is going to be touched, that's just a outright lie. What he talked about are people who are over 120 years old who clearly are not alive.
Well, the reason I brought it up is
Social Security or Medicare.
Okay, well,
that's totally wrong. I think
just to sort this out, the reason I brought this up is because the claim here is that there's massive, widespread fraud and that that's all they're addressing. That's obviously a disputed claim because it's not true that 120-year-old people are getting Social Security checks. The checks stop at a certain point automatically because those checks and balances
but those Social Security numbers get counted for various parts of the federal government. So they don't get a benefit directly to those people, but they count for money that gets allocated to different departments in their budget. And they shouldn't be. If somebody's no longer alive, they shouldn't be able to count that.
I guess my fundamental question was, what are the risks here of Elon dabbling in elections for Republicans going forward?
What?
Well, again, I think in the end, he's going to have to continue to make the case. Part of the reason why when we talked about our recall, what flipped things for us early on in that recall process, Time magazine called me Dead Man Walker. And the reason was because all the narratives coming out from the press, coming out from the left, were about all these horrible, egregious things. Once we started to give examples of things we were actually doing, not the things the press said, not the things that our opponent said, but the things that we were actually doing, when we ended up going before the voters in the final election in the recall, we actually won by more votes than we did. So I think that what's paramount for him or anyone else aligned with him is keep giving actual examples of what they're doing. Set aside things like Social Security and make it abundantly clear that that's not being touched. But if there's waste, fraud, or abuse, spell it out, make the case, and bring it to the voters.
Governor Walker, great to have you. Thank you so much.
And it doesn't matter, man. He will sit there and tweet out every single thing that Doge is doing. He will put it up on the official Doge website. He will, come out on the news. He will host a couple rallies, explain a few things. These guys are radically transparent. But in terms of Abby, why would you sit there and lie about something that literally the American people, we watched him say that he wasn't going to do this? Why continue to fearmonger off of a lie? Man, they creating the EDS. I appreciate and thank God that he was there to call up on that, man, for real. Somebody said she can pull that crap on Scott. Worse than I can imagine. Such liars from CNN. This is such a blatant lie. I'm so sick of this. I love a counterpoint discussion, but it needs to be fair and honest. Enough is enough. Any news anchor deserves to be fired for lying when it comes. I'm sorry, when it is this obvious. Yeah, I would like to know what accountability measures are being taken for stuff like that for sure. Now, let's take a look at this. What we got. This is why the Democrats are fighting Elon Musk. Come on, bro, get it together. Elon Musk, tooth and nail over government transparency. There's a massive amount of fraud that they're trying to hide from the American people. And right here it says, Elon Musk says the U.S. government deleted a terabyte of financial data to cover their crimes, but they don't understand technology, so we recovered it. I ain't see this come from no official Elon Musk account. Let me see. Doge AI replied, Elon's right. DC bureaucrats love burying receipts. Recovering a terabyte of data proves what we already know. The swamp's drowning in fraud. Real-time audits and full transparency would expose billions wasted on pet projects while real priorities get crumbled. And they didn't feel the need to try to clean all this up before Trump won, obviously, because they was expecting it rhymes with meat. He needs to start naming names and making it public. The fraud is massive and the criminals are attempting to hide it. They're not doing a good job right now. Anywho, let's move on. One less Democrat voter, huh?
Well, the police caught that son of a bitch. They caught the pajama pant vandal that vandalized the Tesla of a disabled young lady who's bound to a wheelchair in Olive Garden right here in Wichita, Kansas.
Olive Garden, that sounds good.
This guy's name is Jonathan Earhart. He's 30 years old, and he is charged with felony destruction of property, a level 9 felony. And if convicted, the sentence for that ranges from 5 months, which is the minimum, to 17 months, depending on if he has any prior convictions. This dude also will be losing his right to vote. He's got a young daughter. Now imagine having to explain this to your daughter,
right,
when she gets big enough, as to why daddy disappeared for several months. Yeah, baby. This guy named Elon Musk got under my skin and it got me triggered, and so I decided to take it out on a disabled woman's Tesla. Y'all need to really think about what you're doing. Because you're doing nothing but harming your fellow American and yourself. So this guy's so bent out of shape over the politics of everything going on has just probably made it where he will never be able to vote again.
People, man.
I think y'all need some help.
Dang. We know. We would look. Our conspiracy theories are always on point, and I'm willing to say that one is gonna be on point. Well, it is on point. We know. We know. They definitely do, man. The fact that you're willing to go to these great lengths to, you willing to defame your neighbor's property, violate your fellow community, off of the simple fact that you don't agree with somebody coming to look into where your money is going illegally. Doesn't make sense. And then having to explain that to your daughter or your kids, oh yeah, I gotta. And the sad part, they probably looking at this as if it's some sort of like badge of honor, like they're the martyr for this, in some way, shape, or form. The real, fully realized, alive martyr for this. Like, I'm sure they thinking in their mind, I can't wait to tell my grandkids, I'm standing up, for democracy. And, nah, man, you was on the wrong side of history, buddy. Now, every time you see Democrats screaming into news cameras, remember this clip.
I'll tell you a lesson I learned at PayPal. You know who complained the loudest? The quickest and the loudest and with the most amount of righteous indignation? The fraudsters. That's who complained first, loudest, and they would generally have this immense overreaction. That's how we knew they were the fraudsters. Mm-hmm. That's how we knew. There's to tell.
So the ones who screaming the loudest usually have the most to hide, is what he's saying. Do y'all agree? Let me know in the comments right now. I'll tell you that I agree. From my experience in life, usually the hit dog hollers now. The hit dog definitely row. We have May Adams right here, who just got all of the charges, acquitted and everything like that. But he goes on to explain how Trump derangement is real. You can like or dislike Elon Musk, but you don't have any right blowing up somebody's Tesla, man. You don't have any right breaking the law. Who do you think you are?
And the thing is, I keep saying this, and people don't like it. They get upset. The Trump derangement syndrome is real. Yeah. You can hate someone so much that even if they do something
You're
right,
blind to it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that, and you can like or dislike Elon, but you don't have any right blowing up someone's Tesla.
Right, exactly.
You don't have any
breaking the
right.
law. Yeah.
I mean, who
Simple
do you think
as that.
you are?
Yeah.
You don't have any right going in and destroying.
They drew a dick on his Tesla.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, by the way. That was
You understand
I
what I'm
shouldn't have
saying?
did
A
that.
white dick too, small.
Think about that.
Now, to be fair,
They should get 40 years.
but yeah, so that does happen.
That's the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
When you say, okay, I'm upset that you are doing Doge and you're closing down jobs, but you know what? You should close down Tesla. What about those people that work there?
Dude, I literally said that I was on this guy's podcast, and I was like, listen, I totally understand you. Theo Vaughn's podcast, and I was like, I totally understand that, like, you people who are critical of Elon, there's reasons to be critical. Everybody should have the freedom to be critical, right? And I go, but hoping that Tesla shuts down,
right?
Like, I understand you're upset that people lost jobs. It doesn't improve the situation if you make more people lose jobs.
Right.
It is
He's
an
the
American
richest
car
guy.
company.
Right.
Yeah, he's the richest guy in the world. He's not. He's going to be okay.
Right.
He's not the one hurt.
Right.
The people that work there. So you're upset these people lost jobs. You're like, I know the solution. More people lose jobs.
Think about it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. This is the reason why we look at the ideologies of the left and go, what? And you realize they really are, they act just like tyrants. Is they can't get their way, so they get to kicking and screaming, and they get to try to break something, throw something, you know what I'm saying? Which is volatile, ignorant, childlike behavior. Just because you can't win with policy, just because you can't win with, you know, common sense citizens being strung back together, forming a complete thought that people agree with. But you know, I just got wind that Mayor Adams actually is denouncing being a Democrat, or was he never a Democrat or something like that? But he's now going to be, oh yeah, he's removing himself from the Democrat Party and announcing himself as an independent. I feel like that's him trying to be neutral, which is cool. I ain't mad at you. But I think he's seeing what's going on with the radical left. And he like, nah, I can't do nothing about it. So instead of him just, you know, going all the way to the right, he like, let me slide this thing over, slide to the right, you know, a little bit. But Elon says he knows who's funding these Tesla attacks, and he knows who the generals are. It also proposes the question, raise your hand. I wish I could, but I'm so sore right now. Raise your hand if you want whoever's behind these attacks to be charged with domestic terrorism. Hey, I don't care how so I am.
This is fundamentally a case of terrorism. It's wide-scale domestic terrorism with the purpose of intimidation, and it's harming innocent people. It's really terrible. And I think what we actually have to get to are the people who are organizing and paying for these attacks and protests. That's who we really need to go after, because the people at who are actually throwing the Molotov cocktails, they are the foot soldiers. Right. But we need to go after the generals, and we're going to do so. The president has made it very clear that we're going to go after those that are paying and organizing these violent attacks. And Attorney General Bondi has said the same thing. I believe that is exactly what will happen.
Do you know who they are?
I can see the left now. Oh, look at them going to Trump, you know, to help you with
We're coming for him.
Do you know who those generals are?
We know. We do.
Yes. And hopefully the prosecution will be for RICO and an organized criminal enterprise, which makes the penalties even more serious. And now to Jessica.
Yes, absolutely. These are serious crimes where the organizers and pushers of mass violence will go to prison for a very long time.
That's right. Okay.
And I hope they see this segment.
Oh, it was a look at his eye right at the end. Hold on, look. It was that face right. I hope they see this segment. My guy said, look, I don't care how nerdy I am, man. You know what I mean? Come, try it if you want to. Try it if you want to. And the Mars, boy, quit playing with me. Nah, but if I'm being honest, I do think that whomever are orchestrating these protests in this way and also inciting violence in this way should definitely be held accountable. Yes, man, we got to start getting these leftists to be held accountable, start getting this syndrome off of these streets day by day. I mean, sure, that would give us nothing to talk about, but I'm cool with that. You know, the world would be a much better place. Now, I love when I see karma. So this y'all can see what he did, right? I don't want to play the video for obvious reasons, but you was able to see it, right? Yeah.
Hey, who the fuck was that? You guys are pieces of shit, dude. That's my fucking car. That's your car? Yeah. What the hell is your friend's problem? You guys are fucking idiots.
So get this, these guys park right behind my truck, attack it, and leave. But that's so dumb because everyone knows the Tesla records everything. And not to mention, I was literally standing 15 feet away from my truck. Who would do this? What a dumbo. So I immediately assessed the damage, called 911, and secretly followed them to the place they were going.
White dude, pink hair. 40?
So it took about 10 minutes for the cops to arrive. They questioned me, so I showed them the videos.
It's got to be an Elon Musk violation or something.
It is, yeah. And they asked, do you know where he went? I said, yes. He and his friends went to the movie theater.
Got 50 out here. The boys went into the movie theater, so we're going to see what happens.
Turns out they were watching Death of a Unicorn, so the cops went in, paused the entire movie, and told the guy, you need to come with us.
Not so funny now, is it, big man?
The police asked if I want to press charges, and I said, absolutely. This is going to be a few $1,000s in damages for sure. And plus, Elon Musk haters need to be taught a lesson.
Yes, they do.
They're the friends chilling there, waiting. I don't know why.
Most people get away with vandalism, but not this guy. We got him. Thanks, Elon.
Oh, wow. What's up, bro?
Oh, that was a lovely ending to that story right there, man. Wow, we need more of that ASAP. We need to see people getting held accountable like this ASAP. Somebody says when you get triggered on your way to watch a children's movie about unicorns. Yeah, I was gonna leave that. I was gonna leave that part out. You know, I ain't see had no family with them, but that's nuts. No lie. Gotta be tough to be caught red-handed like that. I mean, imagine sitting in the movies just like, yeah, and then they just stop and it's, you don't know what's going on. They come right to you. You already know why you're going to jail. You already know. But no, if he was that crazy, he probably was going to sit there like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? Oh my God, what did I do? It wasn't until you seen that Tesla drive past that it made sense. Yeah, man. And for him to be as bulky as he was, man, that kick was weak as hell. Or is it that the Tesla is strong as hell? Or heaven? I'm gonna start switching that to heaven. You know what I mean? Let me read some more comments. Yeah, definitely the laugh at the end had me. This was probably the best display in 2025 so far of a FAFO moment. This was definitely top 3 already. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up there. This is top 3 FAFO moment of 2025 right now. Somebody says, great story. I will absolutely press charges and thank you to the police department. Death of what? Unicorn? That's almost the funniest part. Oh my God, right. Like the unicorn on top of that too? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. My arm hurts. Says hopefully the next stop will be 20 years in prison for domestic terrorism. I know, right, man? Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. Stay clear of any TDS members. And yeah, man, I'm going to catch you. Well, I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace.